Welcome to my series on full timing. This is part 3, where I try to get you on the road. So in part number 1, we talked about getting healthy. On part 2, we talked about getting rid of some stuff. So by now, some of you have already started or are planning to get rid of some of your stuff in your home. This week, we're going to be talking about looking for the RV, starting to look around for what kind of RV that we want. And there's a lot involved in that. As you know, when you purchase a brand new vehicle, you have a depreciation time in there. And I'm going to try to get you to the point where you don't have to go through so many steps like I did in finding the perfect RV. I didn't know a lot of RVing when I got into it, so I just thought a Class C was normal for a woman, especially coming from a house and having a lot of stuff. And after a couple of years, I realized it's really a journey to try to minimalize and simplify your life. So with this video, I want to try to get you to find the rig that is right for what exactly your heart is intended for. That way you don't have to be trading up or trading down in the process of your full timing, which is a big headache and a lot of problems. But I mean, if you have to do it that way, that's fine. I don't want you to think, oh, that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with starting off big and then realizing I'm not comfortable with this. There's other things that I want to explore. Maybe the first 2 years you want to do different type of camping, and then as you feel more confident in your travels and the kind of things that you feel that you're missing out on, you may want to downsize, and it doesn't hurt as much because now you've gone from this to this, and now you can go from this to this. So for some of us, it's a step like that. That's the way we have to do it. And you also have to try to be compassionate with your partners if you have a partner who is going through that. So you might be at the stage where you're ready to just like get rid of everything and go on the road. Your partner might be in a different place where he's like, well, I need time to get rid of this, or I don't really want to go that, I don't really want to go that much. I want to go a little bit bigger or whatever. So you have to come to a compromise and realize that sometimes it's an evolution. For you, it may be easy. For your partner, it may be gradual steps. So try to come to a compromise with that person. So maybe if you realize that down the road you are going to go a lot smaller, but you have to make the step to something in the middle right now, maybe you want to look at something that's a used RV so that you don't lose as much in depreciation later on when you plan on downsizing even more. If you start off brand new and at the top brand new, and then you decide to go to a smaller rig later on and downsize, you're going to lose a lot of money in between those two steps. So if you're not sure what you're going to do and your partner is on one side and you're on the other, then I suggest looking at two good used rigs. Save some money down the line, but keep in mind that if you have this extra money to spend, you can put it on repairs on an older rig and get it done that way. And if you have a lot of time to do this, you have time to fix up an older RV to get all of this process done. So I highly recommend something like that. But anyway, let's get started today. Let's start looking for the rig that we want. First thing that I want you to do is to ask yourself, what is your dream? What is the vision that you see yourself when you see yourself RVing? So you're going to want to ask yourself this question. Get yourself this week to ask yourself this question and look, or maybe get a magazine and take pictures out, and what would you want to do, and start cutting out pictures of the stuff that you want, and that will help you visualize what it is that you want. And when you have all of these pictures and you say, oh, I like to go boondocking, and I want to do this, and I want to go do that, that's going to help you narrow down the kind of rig that you want, because there's certain rigs that are more difficult to get in certain places than other rigs. There's some rigs that if you're too high, they're too big, you're just going to have a hard time getting anywhere. So you want to have a vision in mind of what it is that you want to have. Writing down, if you don't like to do pictures and stuff like that, you could write down some of the things that you want to do. Do you want to be off the beaten path, or is that something that you eventually want to get to? I know that when you're starting out, you're not going to start there right away. You're going to gradually get into that. I do suggest that you start off maybe with an RV park here or there. Look for some RV parks that are cheap, that are in your area. You really don't need a lot of amenities. You want to be able to test your RV once you get the RV. There's 3 particular types of scenarios that I want you to think about before you, so you can start thinking about. There's the resort style living where you get to an RV park, you leave your fifth wheel or your motorhome. You're usually bringing another car with you, and you're staying there, and you want to be electric, you want to have electric, you want to have all the hookups, all the conveniences of a home. Then you want to go sightseeing in a certain area. Your best way to do that is going to be finding parks where they have a certain season where they have lower prices, or you can work something out in advance. If you book it by a certain time in advance, you might be able to get a certain price. Of course, joining clubs like Passport America and the Good Sam Club, also those will also save you some money on these kind of parks. A lot of times they'll email you with their specials. If you're into more resort type styles like that, where you can leave your car and then go explore, then that's something that you're going to do. And I do suggest that you do that in the beginning of your travels, because it just makes it easier that way to get to know the systems and just basic stuff, and you get to see what it is that you like if you're not really sure what you want. But this is usually for people who have money to spend. They can be in an RV park for a while. Try to get the ones that are giving you the specials. I'll give you the best price for the month. Like in Florida, there's some parks that will give you a monthly price that are really like off the charts. Well, and I mean, you're gonna have electricity. Do keep in mind though, if you are gonna stay in an RV park for a month, they usually will read your electric meter. So you do have to remember that you're going to have an additional expense there where your electric meter is going to be read monthly. These are usually the people who have money to spend. So if you have money to spend, you can do stuff like this. Remember that having a second vehicle with you is also an additional expense, where there is going to be additional maintenance, and there's more chances of things to go wrong on the road, because now you have more tires on the road. And more problems on the road that you can handle. So think about that when you're looking for a rig. You're not just going to be seeing the rig as, oh, this is a Class A. Well, is this having a Class A, I'm going to want to do this kind of travel or go to these kind of places, but now I need a car for that. So having a car is going to cost me more money, because getting it hitched up to the Class A is going to cost more money. The maintenance on something like that is going to cost more money. Practicing with something like that is going to take more time if you're not too familiar with something like that. Driving around a big Class A, and on top of that, you know, driving with a tow behind you. So keep that in mind. Don't just focus on the fantasy, focus on the reality of, can I do this, or do I want to do this right now? Maybe I need to start smaller, and as I get more braver, I can get up to a bigger type of a rig. So you have to try to see what it is that you're more comfortable in, okay? The other type of a person is the kind of person who likes secluded nature. They want to be alone, not necessarily alone. You could be with a partner or with somebody else, or you could have friends or meet up with some friends, but you are a loner, and you do like to be alone, and you feel that when you want to be with other people, you have the flexibility of leaving that area and going to be in areas where are more populated, and you have the chance to talk with people and stuff like that. So this kind of a person might want a certain type of a rig where you can be comfortable in both places. You can get out to the spots, and you can also have enough space that you're going to be comfortable if you want to be there for a month in a place like that. Because in an RV park, yeah, you can sit outside, but a lot of RV parks, especially the ones out west that I've seen, they're very small, and you're actually like in a parking lot. So if you don't mind having somebody parked right next to you, then you know that's what you're gonna find. But you might need every once in a while to get out to a secluded place like a BLM land, only because you need your space also to get out in places like that. So for you, you might want to think about maybe a travel trailer, because a travel trailer, a smaller size travel trailer might be better suited for you, or a fifth wheel, a smaller size fifth wheel, because you can be in both places and still have the comfort and convenience of a larger type of a rig. There's a third type of a traveler, which is the person who really wants to be off the beaten path. They want to be off-road. They want to be private. They're not afraid to be out on the wild. They're not afraid to be anywhere. They want to explore, and they want to see things like that. Your best bet for this kind of a travel is going to be something that is like a truck camper, something that's smaller. You could go with a van with good off-road tires. You could do a Sprinter van if you had good tires on them. Remember that even though you're going to have a Sprinter van, you're going to be low, so you want to be able to get up into areas that so you need a higher lift on your van or whatever it is. So you have to keep that in mind. If that's the way that you want to be, then you might want to go for a smaller type of RV. It's going to be very difficult to get into places with beaten off the road places with a very large RV. So your best bet for something like that is also, it could also be a cargo van conversion for something off the road that you can have an off-road vehicle and also pull like a cargo type van that you can redo yourself or have somebody redo it for you. Those are really economical, and that gives you the best of both worlds because you'll still be able to use your truck bed for a lot of storage, and then you'll also have your living facilities in your cargo trailer. And then if you also want to bring a tent with you, you can stock that, and you can also do a lot of wild camping and be out in a tent as well, or have extra space with a tent. So these might be your preferences. You really need to see what it is that you like. And keep in mind that as you get older, you may not be as flexible or have the health to get up to the top bed. Like my truck camper has a bed at the top, and not everybody can be able to get up there easily. So you have to keep that in mind. You may want to have something like a truck camper, but you can't get up there to the bed, and you need a bed below. So you have to keep that in mind. So you might want to go with a smaller, like a 22-foot Class C, or a 22 or 20-foot Class C is something that you might want to get, where you do have a bedroom in the back. You could sleep in there, or you have a possibility of a bigger size futon style sofa where you can actually, you know, sleep in there at night. So these are options, and your best bet for looking for a rig is always the RV shows are great for you. But I always think the RV shows are complicated sometimes because there's so many people that are in there, and there's so many RVs. But it's a way for you to kind of like just look and see what you want and hone in on, oh, I like this, and I like this, and I like this. And imagine yourself getting the steering wheel. Imagine yourself driving this vehicle. Look on the side, see what it is. When you go to a dealer, make sure that you try the vehicle. Sit down and say, look, I really want this type of vehicle. I want to test it. I want to see myself driving it. And make sure that they take you and allow you to drive it out. So that you get, if you can't be comfortable in there driving this thing, then you're not going to be comfortable on the road. It's going to be even worse, because now you're going to have things rattling, and you're going to have, if you have to pull a car behind you, so many more aspects of it than what it is. So you have to see yourself driving this. If not, then maybe you have to rework your idea. The best place is to go to a dealer, especially dealers that are easy and flexible, and you can travel to these kind of RV places that allow you to go inside and walk around and see all the different RVs that they have in their lot. I know I have one here, and I've walked in there and looked around and this and that. I've filmed in there, and nobody bothers me. They'll come up and say, oh, can I help you? And I'll say, no, I'm just looking around trying to get an idea. And they're perfectly fine with that. You want to walk around, and you want to take your time looking and seeing the different kind of RVs at the lot. And sometimes a lot like this is a lot better, because you have the freedom to narrow down what you're interested in without, you know, feeling that you have a timeline to get in and out. Because in an RV show, there's tons of people that want to get in and see things, and there's so much conversation going on in these shows that sometimes it can be overwhelming to find what you're looking for, because there's so much to see. So this way, on the weekends, you can go to these dealers and look around and see the kind of thing and kind of narrow it down. My preference is go to one RV show, try to see as much as you can, all the things that you're thinking about, and you can see the makes and models and got to get an idea for the prices, and then ready to hone down to a certain particular type of RV, then go to a dealer and go in there and look at these, drive it, see what it is, feel for it, and never let them talk you into buying something that you're not passionate about. I know that a while back I went in there looking for a truck camper before the hailstorm. I was interested to know about truck campers, and I went in there, and this guy tried to sell me a Class C, and I told him, no, I've already had a Class C. I don't want a Class C. I want a truck camper. And they only had like 2. So he was really adamant about selling me a Class C again. I'm like, no, I don't want a Class C. He goes, oh, I got financing and this and that. So please, please, please don't let them fool you. Don't get them involved in stuff like this. Make sure you go with what your heart desires, because that's usually the best thing for you is what your heart desires, and that's how you're going to be happy with what you need. You need to have an idea of what kind of a budget you're going to have, and your budget is always going to be more than you assume. Number one, because you don't know if you're buying something used, you don't know the repairs that you're going to need, so always have money for that. And number two, there's a lot of expenses that come in afterwards buying stuff for the RV. There's hoses, there's sewer stuff that you have to buy, there's a whole bunch of things that you always end up buying for your RV. Make sure that you always get an inspection of your RV, whether it's new or not. When they hand you over your brand new RV or whatever you're buying at the dealer, even if it's not brand new, make sure that you inspect that everything works. I can't stress that enough. Always test everything. You want to test the water heater. You want to test the air conditioner. You want to test every single thing that's on there. You want to spend a couple of days testing everything if you're allowed to stay at the RV park. Before you finish signing off on that, test every single thing, everything. If it's summertime, put the heat on anyway and test it. If it's wintertime, turn on the air conditioning and test it. Every single thing. You are paying for this. It should be in working order when you walk out the door, unless they disclose to you that there's something that's not working. But you should check it just to know what's going on. If you call somebody who also does inspections, not only, and he fixes too, he'll charge you more, but he'll also inspect every single detail of the RV, and he will tell you what's wrong with it or what you have to fix down the line. It's better to do the inspections prior to the purchase, because that way you can actually maybe knock off some of the price on it. I know with dealers it's not necessarily always going to happen like that, but you do want to know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that wherever you buy the trailer, or if you don't know how to park a trailer, you get lessons on parking there. There should be no dealer ever that will sell you an RV that will not help you learn how to back in to a spot. When you buy an RV that's been on the lot for a while, I don't care if it's new. The RVs are sitting out there for 6 and 8 months. People are walking in, walking out. Nobody's doing maintenance to this RV. Guess what? You're going to have to silicone everything, because they're not doing that at the factory. They're just putting some really fast silicone. They don't care. They just want it out the door. When you get it home, you are going to silicone, going to die-core everything. Even the screw heads you have to do, because now the RVs are not even putting stainless steel screws. And my RV had rusted screws all across the top that were really bad. I don't know how manufacturers are getting away with something like this. That's something you're going to have to do. Seal all of that stuff on the top, because it is a problem waiting to happen. Trust me, they're not sitting there doing any maintenance. They're going to wash it for you, and then they're going to give it to you, and then it's your job to go in there, test everything works, and if there's something that doesn't work, you say, oh, this doesn't work. They're going to send it over there. They're going to fix it, and they're going to send you off. They don't care about the outside. They don't care about anything like that. Trust me, they're going to do that to you. So you want to make sure that when you get home, you get your die-core, your ProFlex, and you silicone every little thing that's on there, especially the screws and all of those seams and everything. Find a place where you can park. These are things you can do now before you RV and say, well, I want to get a travel trailer. I got to learn to park it. Where can I go to learn to park it? Start finding a place and know the day that you can go there. It could be a school that allows you, and you can go there on a certain day of the week and learn to park with a friend. So you can do things like that. Start finding these places and looking and planning and having all these things, because you don't want all these things hitting you at the last minute. You want to be able to be prepared and say, I've got this, now I'm going to do this weekend, and not have to worry about planning this stuff later on. You can be doing that now. Learn about your apps, the apps that you're going to be using to do searches, and your GPS. You also need to learn how to use the GPS. So if you can get the GPS before, or get it as a gift for Christmas from somebody, that's great, because now you have time to use it in the car and get used to using your GPS before you get your rig. And you could use a lot of these GPSs as well inside your automobile. If you haven't been using the Google Maps or anything like that, these are things that you should start doing now, learning to feel comfortable using these kind of maps and use tools to find different things. When you're on the road with your car, you should be looking and saying, okay, how do I find, if I was in my RV right now, how do I find a travel plaza, or how do I find this? Put yourself through these tests, because why wait till the last minute when you can actually start doing that now and get a feel for what the life is like. You could do that. Stay out in your car one night at a Walmart. Take the time once you get the RV to learn all the systems of your RV. Get the manual, look at them, write down any maintenance that has to be done. If you have to do so and so after 6 months, if you have to have your generator serviced after a certain number of hours, I like to keep it on my phone. All of these notes, in my notes, I have a note that just says RV, and I keep all of the stuff in there. I write down what the weight is of my RV, what the tank, the size of the tank. So I remember what is the height of my RV. I have it in there. If I have to do maintenance for the generator, I have it in there. It's always on my phone, and it's connected to my cloud. So whether it's on my phone or it's on my tablet, the information is always available. If I ever lost my phone, it's on the cloud. So when I open my iPad, guess what? My notes are also on the iPad, and I open my MacBook, my notes are also there. So I never lose my notes, and I can update from any device. It's going to be exciting because now we actually have the RV and we have to start packing our stuff, and this is really exciting. First, I want you to put all the essentials in there, and then after that, you are going to start looking at the space and saying, you know, what kind of container you need, this and this. Remember, I have a Pinterest board that you can check at SimplyRVing and Pinterest, and I have all the great ideas that I get from the internet. I post them on there, and there's a lot of organizational tips and stuff on there that I post all the time. So go ahead and check that out. But anyway, guys, I hope that this information was helpful for you. We're following along on my mind map. Email me, I'll post it down below right here. The mind map is free to anybody who wants it. If you plan on RVing in the next few months or in the next few years, get the mind map, because basically the series is going around the 6 steps, and then you'll be able to follow along. You can come back and watch these videos later on, or you can just follow along with the mind map and write your notes in there. That will be very helpful for you. Just send me an email and I'm going to send it to you. It's free. There's no charge for that. Anyway, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If it is, please, please, please give me a thumbs up, because I don't get a lot of views for stuff like this, but I do want to be able to post them and put out the information to you to help you. But if you just give me a thumbs up, that really boosts me up with YouTube, and it helps a lot for my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Next week we're going to be doing some other stuff. We're going to be doing part 4 of the series, so stay tuned for that. Take care, everybody. Bye.